The Irish Famine of 1845, also known as the Great Hunger and An Gorta Mór, was a devastating period in Irish history marked by widespread starvation, disease and mass immigration. It was a catastrophic event that unfolded as a result of a potato blight causing the failure of the potato crop upon which the majority of the Irish population heavily relied. Additionally, the situation was worsened due to the policies of absentee landlords and the exportation of food, which deepened the resentment of the Irish people towards British rule. Approximately 1 million died and another 1 million emigrated, with Ireland's population having never recovered to pre-famine numbers. Let's explore the causes, consequences and societal impacts of the Irish famine, shedding light on its long-lasting effects on the country. The primary cause of the Irish famine was the failure of the potato crop due to the arrival of Phytophthora infestans, a fungal pathogen commonly known as potato blight. Potatoes were the staple food for the majority of the Irish population, especially the poor rural farmers, who relied heavily on this crop for sustenance. The overdependence on a single crop, coupled with the lack of agricultural diversity and the prevalence of land ownership issues, exacerbated the vulnerability of the Irish population to the famine. The failure of the potato crop had immediate and severe consequences. With the primary food source destroyed, widespread hunger and malnutrition quickly gripped the nation. As the famine progressed, diseases such as typhus, cholera and dysentery spread rapidly due to the weakened immune systems and unsanitary living conditions. The death toll rose significantly and the suffering of the Irish people reached unimaginable proportions. The British government's response to the Irish famine was marred by controversies and inadequate actions. The prevailing laissez-faire economic policies and the belief in market forces to resolve the crisis led to a slow and insufficient response. British relief measures such as public works projects and soup kitchens were implemented, but they were often too little too late to address the magnitude of the crisis. The policies of absentee landlords and the exportation of food worsened the situation that deepened the resentment of the Irish towards British rule. During the famine, absentee landlordism was prevalent in Ireland. Absentee landlords, usually British, owned land but lived elsewhere, showing little concern for the welfare of their tenants. Their lack of engagement exacerbated the suffering of the population, leading to evictions and displacements. Many absentee landlords viewed the Irish estates purely as a source of income and sought to maximise their profits without considering the well-being of their tenants. Relief efforts were insufficient and the tenants faced harsh treatment and evictions, forcing them to seek refuge in overcrowded workhouses or to immigrate in search of survival. The system symbolised the exploitative relationship between Ireland and Britain, fueling resentment and calls for land reform and autonomy. During the famine, the decision to continue food exports became a contentious issue that exacerbated the suffering and resentment among the Irish population. Despite the devastating impact of the potato blight and the widespread famine, Ireland continued to export significant quantities of food, particularly grains and livestock, to other countries, notably Britain. To prevent the Irish people from accessing this food, military battalions were brought in to guard shipments all over the coast. Prior to the famine, Ireland's population had been steadily growing, reaching approximately 8 million people. Over the course of the famine, it is estimated that around 1 million died due to starvation and disease. This period was marked by immense suffering, with many families losing their homes, livelihoods and loved ones, leaving a lasting impact on the social, economic and demographic landscape of Ireland for generations to come. The famine triggered a massive wave of emigration as people sought escape from the desperate conditions at home. Fleeing the poverty and starvation, approximately 1 million set sail for new lands, particularly the United States and Canada. This mass exodus resulted in a significant loss of population and combined with the death toll, Ireland's population decreased by about a quarter. The famine had profound and enduring effects on Ireland. The population of Ireland declined significantly due to death and emigration, resulting in a lasting demographic impact. The economic and social consequences of the famine persisted for generations, with rural areas particularly affected. The trauma and collective memory of the famine shaped Irish nationalism and fueled the desire for independence from British rule. The Irish famine of 1845 was a tragic and transformative event in Irish history. It was a catastrophe that led to immense suffering, loss of life, and long-lasting social and economic consequences. The failure of the potato crop, inadequate relief measures, and mass immigration that followed forever changed the fabric of Irish society. The Irish famine serves as a reminder of the devastating impact of such disasters and the importance of a proactive and compassionate response to such crises, as well as the lasting legacy of historical events on the nation's identity.